Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to another episode of the CFTV preview show, the Chelsea Fan TV preview show with myself and with Kev. This is a very, very late episode for Kev. It is almost midnight in the UK, and it's a very early episode for me. It's almost 3 a.m. in Dubai. So we are making an effort, people. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. It does help a lot. But we'll get straight into it. I mean, Kev, how are you feeling, mate? We've just come off a 6-1 win against Middlesbrough. Obviously, the pressure was on Poch. We got the job done. And now we go into another cup game against Aston Villa. But this is a different animal.
Totally different animal. If we play like we did at Middlesbrough against Villa, we'd probably end up losing it. That's how good they've been this season. So, positive signs. Probably one of the most positive performances we played this season, if you ask me, against Borough. I think was taking a lot of risks, getting the ball forward, and that's what you want to see. Even Palmer was giving the ball away quite a bit, but the intent was to go forward instead of sideways and backwards. So you guys got to be happy with it. But going into this Villa game, I think we've got to step it even more. And if we win this game, it's probably the best result we've had this season in regards to confidence, because Villa are a good team, one of the most informed teams in the Prem. We've kind of gone on a bit of a run, only losing one in the last six, I think. So you go and beat Villa, it goes to show that maybe all the posh out and all the stuff we were shouting a few weeks ago was a bit too much.
Kev, you were shouting,
I
not
was.
me.
No.
You.
I still am. I still am. Not acceptable. The position the position where we are in the league, the form we've had in some of the games that we've played, the level of games we've played, it's not good enough. So I'm still just over the fence, but that's not necessarily saying this game over. If you beat Villa, we can win the Carabao Cup, and we finish in the top six, top seven. Maybe he's kept his job, but right now until then, is not doing too good. Not quite yet. We haven't won anything yet, Alex. That's the thing. So as much as we're doing okay-ish, it's still a long way to go, if you ask me.
No, I mean that's fair enough. I think that when I take a step back, and obviously I'm now watching the games abroad. I'm not going to be here for a long time. I watched the Middlesbrough game in the official fan club in Dubai. And it was just interesting looking at the players on a TV screen with the commentary rather than being in Matthew Harding or in the East Stand where I usually sit. It looked good, mate. It looked really, really good. And, even Lewis, one of the most negative fans when it comes to Pochettino, praised him. And that's good to see. And I think that it's fine to criticize Pochettino, but if you cannot praise him when he does a good job, then you have an agenda against Pochettino. Because it's not to say he's been great. He hasn't. By no means has he been good enough, and the season is not the Chelsea standard. But I mean, if I'm looking at the Premier League table right now, we're not a million miles away, Kev.
Yeah,
We're
but
ninth. We're 1 point behind United. We're 1 point behind
yeah,
Brighton, and we're 4 points behind West Ham. The sixth
yeah.
place is up for grabs. I'll be honest with you, Kev.
Yeah,
If we finish top six,
it
it would
definitely is.
be
But
a fantastic
we
season for the players that we have. If we're able to pull a Carabao Cup out of this team as well with Pochettino, I'm sorry, mate, but it has been a fantastic season. I said myself, top four was a guarantee. We all knew that was wrong. And we came even further down the line and we said, you know what? We're not even going to get European football. And now fans are telling me right now that if we don't get European football and where we are right now, it's not good enough. It's a disgrace. I'm sorry, but we've got to try and find some middle ground here. I mean, Pochettino's clearly not got a squad that's good enough to push for top four. If he is pushing for Europa and Conference League, in my books, mate, that is a successful season. You get a trophy on top of that. Fantastic way to introduce a young team into hopefully, a long-term winning mentality.
I can agree on some things what you said. Like I said to you before, I was at the Middlesbrough away game. That was me done with Posh just because we wasn't going into games of any intensity and going forward. It was just a bit too pass around the back and then negative. But I think in this last game, the attitude and the mentality totally changed. So if I can see more of that against Liverpool, just the intent to pass the ball forward, like risks, that comes from the manager. If the team's being a bit naive and passing sideways to backwards, that comes from the manager as well. So I just want to see the same energy going into the Villa game. You can't just we beat Middlesbrough 6-1. Oh, yeah, it's good, great result. But we're playing against a mid-table championship team, bro. Like that's no nothing for me to be getting excited about right now, Alex. When we
When was the last time we won 6-1? When was the last time we scored 6 goals, Kev? That is
great,
something.
great. But Alex, a Middlesbrough team that Rotherham went and got a point from. It's not. It's nothing.
It's not 3-0, Kev, or 3-1. It was 6-1. I mean, there's
Great,
obviously a lot you can take from that.
You got to. With how many chances created, the players are in that pitch. We should be winning that game 6-1 now. Simple as that. So we're just doing the basic things that Chelsea should be doing, beating it, thrashing championship teams. Like Preston got thrashed, Middlesbrough got thrashed. This is the expectancy, bro. Like we've been doing this from how long, bro? So for me to be getting fully excited, oh yeah, we're back and all this and that. No. Go and beat Villa, maybe I'll be like, you know what? Yes,
Kev, you got to be
it's not.
consistent, man. You got to be consistent. You know, you either you're either Pochettino or you're not Pochettino. You know, and people say, well, you.
I've
People say,
just said right now is I'm just over the fence of him being out. I'm not wishing. I'm not gonna change 1 week. I'm not that kind of person. It's either what the position the position in the table, and also the performances that I've seen haven't been good enough. So that's why I'm there. But I'm not saying the situation can't get better. If it does, maybe my mindset will change towards him. But until then, I'm just going to stay with what I've seen at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I unfortunately the last preview against Middlesbrough didn't get released because we had a lot of technical problems. So nobody would have seen that video. But in that video, and I'll reiterate what I said, I said that we are yet to see Pochettino's best qualities in as a Chelsea manager, because we all know his best qualities is not his tactics, it is his man management. And ultimately, when you're building a long-term project, man management is just as important as your tactics, because if you have great players, if you're able to develop players from an individual perspective, and we've said it so many times this season, Kev, how many times we've been bailed out by individuals where maybe if we got it right tactically, but the players were lacking confidence, it wouldn't have been the same. So when we look at a manager like Tuchel, and I'm not saying Pochettino is better than Tuchel, but I'm saying that Tuchel is way ahead of Pochettino tactically. Well, we know that. One of the greatest managers tactically in the game right now. But for me, from a man management point of view, Pochettino is there. And in fact, I would say he's ahead of Tuchel in that regard specifically. I'm not saying he's better tactically. I'm just saying man management. I think he is right up there with the best and the elites. And the only thing that lets Pochettino down is his in-game management, and sometimes it's a selection with his tactics, which people say to me, well, you know, that's the whole point. It is, but if you have great man management and you know how to get the best out of players, then players will bail you out. And I'm going to back this up with another point. I went out to a charity do a couple of years ago, and I sat next to Harry Redknapp for about two hours, and I asked him. I said, Harry, what is it about managing the players that you need to do that would be a good piece of advice? And he said to me, Alex, it's simple. You just need to make them feel confident. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he told me the story of Gareth Bale against Milan. I said, Gareth, he's bringing him on there 3-0 down, mate. Was it 3 or 4-0? One of the two. He says, Gareth, just go on there, run at them. You're amazing, mate. You know what you're doing. Goes on there and scores a hat trick. That's not complicated. Now, I'm not saying it's that simple, but you get my point.
Giving the players confidence.
Absolutely. Chukwuemeka came out today and was talking about that. So for me, I think his man management hasn't been assessed, and this second half of the season is where we're going to see it come to fruition, and
Yeah.
even more so next season because I don't see him getting sacked. To be honest with you, I don't want him getting sacked from what I've seen so far. I do think that we've shown enough to give him another year in charge, but again, that could change. But very much, I'm with Poch at the moment. I do think that he's showing progression, and that's all I can ask for.
Yeah. If you're gonna go off last season, and I've always said your progression always goes if you last season, not the season before or next season. You've got to live in the now and the previous. And progression wise, we have come on. It's plain to see. It's a more it's not a better squad in regards to individual talent, but I think there's more of a team spirit, if you know what I mean. And it's a team game end of the day. We had individuals last year. Ziyech's, Mounts, Havertz, Lukaku's. How many players did we have in that squad? But it wasn't a team, wasn't it? A lot of players wanted to leave. A lot of players are happy. So that was probably one of the main reasons why the performances wasn't as good as this year. But in a sense, the manager is getting it right. The players do seem happier, so it does come down to the manager. But like I says, a couple of decisions he's made throughout the season have swayed me towards. Not, it's not. I'm not throwing an agenda. I'm not saying posh out, posh out, posh out. But what I'm trying to say is we need better tactically. Some of the games we've gone into, I think if you set us up a bit better, we would be a bit higher up the league. But you never know. Like I said, positive performance against Middlesbrough, the intent was there. I want to see the same against Villa because it's all about consistency and positivity, and that's two words we have not come across with Charlton season. That's just two key words: consistency and positivity. Where the positivity brought against Middlesbrough, and we are finding a bit more consistency. Like I said, the only bump we've had really in the last few games since Wolves was Middlesbrough away, which was a really, really bad performance. But we seem to have taken a bit of a corner, beat Fulham, beat Middlesbrough again. Let's go and beat Villa. And but we've been in this position so many times, Alex, where it's buts or minis. We've been in the air before where we said, can we find consistency after a win? And we've gone and put a bad performance in. That's what I don't want to see now. So
yeah, well, I think if we lose, it's one thing. If we lose with a bad performance, that's another story. But why is it a bad performance? Is it the players or the manager? I mean, ultimately we'll find out. But it's not an easy test. Forget the players Aston Villa have. I mean, the manager, Unai Emery, since he's come in, he's been up there with the best of them, and it's hardly surprising he's done well when you look at the jobs he's taken in the past. Obviously, he was at Arsenal. I think you could say that was probably his only iffy spell. He won trophies in Paris. He won trophies with Villarreal. Just a top manager, to be honest with you, and reminds me of the perfect manager for an Aston Villa type club. Very much similar to Pochettino in the sense that Pochettino is quite happy to go into a club that is not quite there,
project.
getting there, and try and push them at that level. And I think actually Chelsea can relate to Aston Villa in that sense this season because we haven't been there for a while, guys. Let's not kid ourselves. But ultimately, I think Unai Emery definitely gets a lot more thumbs up than Pochettino. Even I can
Oh
admit that.
wow. Unbelievable what he's done there. Absolutely. This is the same conversation we have about managers and the quality managers, because he had the same last season when he took over. He had the same team as Steven Gerrard, and they was in the bottom three. And within a couple of months, this is before the transfer windows, they was in the top 8. They overtook us.
Yeah.
So that's down to the way the manager sets the team up. Simple as that. The stuff you do in the training field goes into the games, and it's clear to see the team that they are. The style of football changed. With Steven Gerrard, they never had an identity. It was a bit like how a Lampard team would play. You're just playing it around for fun's sake, and there's no direction. Now they've got a clear direction. They play a high line. They play the pressing football. They get players into the box to keep the ball well. They've got the aggression. The wing backs are well up the field. There's a style of football, and that's brought on the manager. Nothing to do with players, because like I said, Steve and Gerrard had the same team more or less, apart from a couple, and there was in the bottom three. So all credit to Unai Emery. No one else. It's the manager which is doing magic
Yeah,
from the moment.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, you've taken the words out of my mouth, Kev. I mean, how do you see this game panning out? I think that Pochettino is going to be taking this game very seriously. I think the same with Villa. I think the two managers are going to be coming out with strong lineups, no messing around. They both want to win this trophy. I believe that. I really do. I believe that Pochettino thinks we can do it, and I believe that Unai Emery thinks that Aston Villa are capable of doing it. And the real reason I think we go into this game as underdogs, Kev, massive
It's
underdogs, because first of all,
it,
the Emery factor in the cup. We know how
yeah.
good he is in the cup, mate. But also, you look at the table. I mean, Aston Villa are just a much better team than
Well,
us right now. I'm struggling to see where we get the result out of this game. I know I've just sort of
it's
put a damper on it straight away.
it's the midfield. The only way we're going to win this game is if we play in the midfield. They overload their midfield. So what I mean by that is they play 4 centre midfielders in the team. So you've got to get to Villa, you've got to get through the midfield, because they've got McGinn left centre midfield. They'll play Douglas Luiz and the Kamara holding, and then they'll play Tillemans to the right. So that's 4 centre midfielders. So if you're playing two, like a KSA and Enzo, they're going to be nullified, because they're going to be stretched a bit. So that's where I think we should probably go for 3 in midfield and try and counteract their 4 in the middle. So if we play the same, for instance, Enzo Gallagher, we've got to play Enzo Gallagher and Calcedo, all 3 of them, but not attacking midfielders. Play 3 in the middle and try and break that midfield. That's where the key danger is. Also, obviously, we know from last year, the last time we played them, counter attacks. I think there's 2 of the goals were scored where they won the ball out of the pitch and bang, gone. That Derby, probably one of the quickest players in the Prem, got him behind us, bang. Yeah, he got him behind us. Watkins, bang, goal. Like I said last time, how I predicted it. So they can change it up. It's down to the manager. They can change it up. They can be a possession-based team. They could be a counter-attacking team. They also like to play at the back as well. They've got a good keeper. For me, from what they've done, it's a massive achievement. But if the answer to your question, the way we can win that game is got to be to contain the midfield. I think we've got to overload our midfield. If we can try and get 3 or 4 now as well, I think we'll have a chance. But the minute they start dictating play and getting those midfield players on the ball, they'll make it a difficult day for us, difficult night for us.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to play players in position, to be quite frank. But then I'm worried that if Chilwell starts, which I think there's a good chance he will, to be honest with you, I'm worried that he'll get injured again. And I'm not going to blame that on Pochettino either, because I feel like you're forced into playing him because we're so much better when he plays. It's just not the same with Colwell on the left. And then again, Enzo Fernandez, if we play him slightly deeper against a better side, I do think that suits him more.
He's got to. If he plays in the 10 against Villa, he'll have no chance of getting on the ball with Douglas, Luiz, and Kamara sitting. They've been especially Luiz. He's been one of the best DMs in the Premier this year. Enzo's not going to be able to get on the ball, because as soon as the ball gets put through, them 2 will just be shuffling left to right and getting the ball. So we've got to play Enzo in the 8. Just play 3 8s. Just try and contain their midfield. That's where we're going to get as much joy. But for me personally, Mudryk started against Borough. I think he'd be on the bench again. I think the performance was justifiable taking him off at half time. I think he doesn't seem confident. There's just something ain't right at the minute with him. Don't know if it's because he ain't played games. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem. Yeah. So it'd be Mudueke. He scored a decent gets a goal in the week. I think he deserves a start. And we have to say there's only one player, unfortunately, it'd be Sterling again, wouldn't it? Because there's literally no one else on that right. We'd have to
Unless you play
Palmer.
Palmer on the right and
It'd be
Gallagher as the
Palmer
second.
with Palmer in the false number 9 because Broa is just not doing it at the moment. You know, he kind of scored a goal in the week, but got given an own goal. I wish he'd got his game with the goal sheet, but he just doesn't seem to get his goal in the sheet. Gets the opportunities, he's not taking them. So for me, it'd be Palmer in the false number 9, and he could basically link that play. So you'd have the 3 midfielders sitting, Gallagher, Enzo, and Calcedo. Then we'd have Palmer dropping into the space, linking play in the false number 9. So that would be a good tactic to use against them.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were just talking about Broha not playing. There's been quite a lot
I
of talk
don't
about
know.
John Duran from Aston Villa. He's a young striker, younger than Broha, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
20 years old, barely played for them, to be honest. Got a couple of goals, but obviously struggling to get minutes ahead of Ollie Watkins. That we could sell Broha and then bring in John Duran. I mean,
No.
does that make any
No.
sense to you?
No, it's just I don't ever look into that ball crap, Alex, to be fair, mate. I just think it's not nonsense. Like, why are we going for these 20-year-old strikers? They're not, Villa doesn't even start. So he doesn't start against Villa for a reason. Ollie Watkins starts as Villa. So why are we signing players that are not even starting for their own teams? Just get a striker who's this is common sense. Like even my son, 7-year-old son, would have sense. Get a striker what's scoring goals now. He's playing and he's confident now, rather than someone that hasn't proved himself yet. What's the point?
It's
Get a
true.
Benzema. Just get a Benzema on a 6-month loan deal. Guaranteed he'll score goals. Okay, you can say about his age, he's getting on a bit, but he will score goals. And then next season, look for a long-term replacement. John Durant's going to take 3-4. He hasn't even adapted to the Premier League yet. He hasn't even had enough time at Villa. So what's that? There's no point. There's just no point in talking about it.
I heard that the reason they want to do it is so they can get pure profit for Broha and then have a payment plan for Duran so they can eventually sell him on and make money. So
That's,
ultimately, it is about money.
yeah,
That's
of
what I
course,
heard.
it's all about money. But it's this is the thing, Al. How long can we last doing this? Like I keep looking at the transfer news, Callum Wilson's, and what are we doing? Like who's the person in charge of
I'll,
these?
I'll be real, Kev. I would take Callum Wilson. He's actually a really
Nah,
good striker. No, he's quality, mate.
nah,
He's
nah,
quality. He's really good.
nah. He's good. He's okay. He's okay.
He's very good, mate. He's top 10 best strikers in the Prem. That's better than what we've got.
I don't know. Probably to be fair, he probably is, but this is the thing. I don't want top 10. I want top 3 for Chelsea Football Club, bro.
What are we looking at?
Yeah.
Haaland, Alvarez, and
Ooh,
I'm trying to think.
Tony,
I
be
wouldn't,
one.
I wouldn't put Jesus in there.
Tony, wouldn't it? Tony, be.
Oh yeah, it's got to be Tony. Got to be Tony. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'll be real. I don't think we're getting Tony anytime soon.
Isak is what he is a deadly striker.
He's probably
Yeah.
number 4. But yeah, I mean, it looks like for me, it looks like Osimhen's actually going to come to Chelsea. He said he's made up his mind. I don't see why he wouldn't come to Chelsea. I think a player like him, you've got a Real Madrid move that's still there, but like Eden Hazard, come to Chelsea for a good 5 years, have a good time, and then get a big move to Spain or something like that if you really want to go out and play. But he's a boy, a Chelsea fan.
Yeah,
I
but
can
I think if summer conversations, I just want to think about Joel's transfers. Then I think we need to think more now. Tony's not available now. Osherman's not available now. None of these teams are going to sell their top striker in the money end of the season. So if you're looking for a quick fix, it'd have to be Benzema. There's no one else at all that can come in and score it. He'd score us 10 goals from now to the end of the season. And that would be probably That'd
If they
be.
wanted Benzema though, Kev, they would have already got him. I don't think they're interested in him.
You
He's
never
got such
know.
a good wage packet as well.
Yeah, he has, but he's had enough. He apparently wants out. So I don't. It's a loan deal. Just let the owners put the money where the mouth is. That's if the money's available. Who knows if the money's available now? We spent £1 billion. This is the thing. It's not looking like it was last year when we was just signing everybody. The money must have run out. So that's the reason why they're trying to make profit off these youth players that come for the ranks. So it's all a bit up in the smoke at the moment. But all I know is get a goal scorer right now is going to get us 10 goals to the end of the season. That'll be us. The difference between us finishing 9th and finishing 6th. That's how important it is right now to get them goals in the team.
Fair enough, mate. I mean, just to finish off your score predictions going into the Villa game, mate.
Oh, first of all, just a quick question to you. What would be your starting lineup tomorrow? Obviously with injuries as well. Obviously we've got a couple of injuries coming back, and Kinku apparently might be back either tomorrow or Wednesday. Same with Gusto. So what would be starting lineup? Would you rest them for the Liverpool game? It's just about thinking what's more important. And for me personally, I think the Villa game is more important. There's been talk about Colwell starting left back. I'd rather start Chilwell and just rest him against Liverpool because I think I want to go on the cup run. This is our chance of European football. So it's just a bit tricky to decide. What would be your starting lineup going into the game?
Well, I think Petrovic obviously in goal. Centre back pairing. I've got to go with. We've got Liverpool in the league as well. You see, you're right. I'll go with. I'm going to go with Colwell at left back because I'll be honest. I'm going to go with Colwell.
He's going to get cooked out. So it's going to be against the Derby on the right hand side, bro. Think about it.
I think if Chilwell starts, he's going to get injured. That's what I think. That's what I think. We've seen it so many times. I think that we should bring Chilwell on as a sub. I think if we're going to bring him,
I can't see Colwell against the Derby on that side there, bro. I won't be able to watch.
That's what I think. Or you play Chilwell for 45 minutes and then you sub him. I don't think you play Chilwell for 90. I just don't see that happening. So I think if I had to, if I was in Potter's shoes, I wouldn't risk it because I think Chilwell is too important and I want him to be fit for the cup final. So I have Petrovic, I'd have Colwell, I'd have Silva, I'd have Disassi, and I'd start Alfie Gilchrist as well. I'd start Alfie Gilchrist unless Gusto's available, but I don't think he is.
It sounds like you're resting players for Liverpool by the looks of it.
Well, it's not just for the league game, mate. Like I'm looking at it, it's only a month until the final, Kev. An ACL or even a small ankle injury will put you out for a couple of weeks. And then you'll be at risk.
I understand your mindset in regards to resting players, rotating to retain yourself.
I'm not looking at it tactically.
You can't see it in a month's time. This is a FA Cup game on a Friday night against Aston Villa. Play your strongest team. The cup finals in a month's time, bro. Like we've got to think about that a bit more close to that. I'm thinking Chilwell's got to start. I'm thinking goal your strongest line and beat Villa. I don't want any excuses after the game. Oh, we never started our strongest team or this and that. This is another opportunity for us to get to Wembley, bro. So we can't be thinking about the final, not yet anyway. It's too far away, bro. So for me personally, I can't see Colwell getting cooked against Diaby on the right, especially Matty Cash. He loves to get up as well. This is going to be Matty Cash and Diaby versus Colwell down that left.
I don't know, mate. I think anything can happen. And judging from what I saw again, mate, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Disassi potentially as a right back again. I mean, he was so good.
It was alright. It was alright, to be fair.
Oh, it was fantastic.
He's playing. But Alex is fantastic.
You're asking me what my lineup is.
No. Okay, carry on. But let's just to go off what you just said. It was fantastic. You told me he was playing against on that fucking team.
Kev,
I
mate.
just thought you could have played against Leon Bailey.
All right. Well, it would be. Oh, my Jesus Christ.
Carry on,
Kev,
carry on.
I'm trying to get it out, mate. So I would start Alfie Gilchrist at right back if it was up to me. But again, I wouldn't mind if Disasi played. But I do think that he'll probably opt for Colwell and Silva. So I think I wouldn't. If it's a working formula, mate, don't change it. And it's a cup game again. Yeah. To be honest with you, Kev, I'm not 100% sure with the right back position. With left back, I do think that Chilwell shouldn't start. I mean, I'm going to say that loud and clear. In the midfield,
Would you go with a 3?
I'll be real, mate. I wouldn't change a lot that we did against Middlesbrough. To be honest,
would you go in the 3 in the midfield, or would you go with the 2 holders and the 1 attacking midfielder? That's the.
I would
Because like I
go
said,
with.
they play four midfielders.
If I'm being honest with you, look, if I'm looking at it from our own perspective, saying, right, let's go out and play our game, then I would start Fernandez and Casado with Palmer as a 10. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Palmer's going to play on the right. I think Gallagher's going to play as a 10. And then I think Sterling's going to play on the left with Broha up front. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, if that does happen, I think we'll see Chukwuemeka coming off the bench. I think we could potentially see Kasady come off the bench if there's an opportunity for him to play minutes in the cup. I think he's good enough, to be honest with you. I really like him. And yeah, mate, I'm not confident, Kev. I don't think we're going to win this game. I think if I'm being realistic, it'll probably be 2-1 Villa or 1-0 Villa. Not that we'll be really bad. I just think they've got too much quality for us.
It's just like I said, it's just the way we set up. We've got this season. Villa have not changed. They've not changed the way they play. It's basically a 4. It's a weird formation. It's like a 4-4-2. But sometimes they'll play Tillemans or Bailey, and Bailey will be like a right wing / right centre midfielder. So they'll get up on attack and then they'll drop back into midfield. So it's the way he's got them set up. He's really been smart in the way he's setting them up, and it's working for him. The results are showing. I think McGinn, he's a fantastic player as well. We just got to overload the midfield. I'm not going to go too much into it now. If you're going to ask me what the score will be, we play our strongest lineup. I can see it being the Chelsea win. I just got a funny feeling. I think strongest lineup gives us confidence. Strongest lineup gives the players an opportunity to go and win. I think if we start planning, like you said, for games in a month's time, we ain't going to win it. If you start playing Gilchrist, players like that, we're not going to win it. Not because I think the bad players think our better team will have more of a chance. So strongest lineup a win. The weakened lineup, unfortunately, game over, which I don't want to see. I want to see us go on a run. So I'm going to go with the strongest lineup. I'll say 1-0 Chelsea.
Fair enough. Well, listen, mate, good episode as always, Kev. Thanks for coming on. And if you guys have been watching for 33 minutes, thank you for staying on for the whole show. Really appreciate it. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up as well if you like it. And if you don't, give us a thumbs down. That's absolutely fine. If you agree or disagree with anything myself or Kev has said, let us know in the comments. And we're both looking forward to being on the next episode very, very soon before the Liverpool game. But until then, we will see you very soon, and up the Chelsea.